Welcome to Feisty Chess. We've got black. We're going to play e5. We're playing Naveen 197 on leechess.org. This is a 10-5 game. Back to the quicker ones here. Okay, hope this isn't the real deal. I took about 5 seconds. Okay. Naveen has played knight f3, and I'm going to try the Elephant Gambit. Just something new tonight. I've studied this a little bit lately. So the main move is e takes. Okay. This, my plan is bishop d3. And I'll probably take once he plays d4, which is expected. Take on e4, that is. Okay, so bishop c4 you'll see a lot, in which case I will take and we'll go into a queenless middle game. Okay, yeah, I need to take. That's the best way to deal with the threat to f7. So here we go. And then the best way to proceed here, swapping off those queens, whether you like it or not. I'm going to threaten that pawn with knight to c6. Now we're going to throw a check in. We'll get castled really quickly. Okay. Here I'm able to castle without defending f7 because I'm threatening a mate as I castle. Not sure it's the best, leaving f7 hanging like that. Castle, knight c3, and then f5? And what's my bishop doing on g4? I suppose it has this retreat and that this diagonal, the a5, e8, h5, e8. Also have knight e7 here. Actually, hold on. I've got maybe better moves with my knight. B4 or d4. He can defend with knight a3. He can't do that, however, if I castle first, and then he goes knight c3. Let's go ahead and castle. I'm afraid of losing that f-pawn. White does have the two bishops. I've always got f5, and if he takes on passant, I've got the knight capturing on f6. So I'm going to go with this. Okay, he does put the knight on c3. I think this allows me to play a pretty nice maneuver with the knight. I could go with f5 right now instead. Let me try this first. I might want to play knight to e6. So, okay, I can grab that bishop. Not right now, not immediately. There's no point in that. Let me just get f5 in there. Love to plant this knight on f6 if he takes on passant. I was about ready to pre-move since it would be a recapture, but don't pre-move after en passant. Okay. I like this position. I do have an isolated pawn. Bishop e6. I like that I'm keeping an eye on d1 here. So I'm going to slide back to h5. If he comes in here, I've got some ideas with a knight check. I'm not sure these are the best ideas. Where's my bishop want to go? I can save that knight check for later, knight f3. It's either g6 or e8. I don't really want to get in the way of my rooks. Can I get away with f7? Thanks to this. That's a pawn and a rook for 2 pieces. It's no good. Especially when white has the bishops. Okay, g6 looks good. He's actually sort of x-raying that point as well, which could be worthwhile. I could make a timely e3 push, for instance. White can't castle, even though it looks like it. Rook f8 or rook e8? My last rook wants to play. I also got e3 here. Getting rid of my weakness. The rook on f8. I don't want to spoil over it too much. Fret over it too much, I should say. Bishop f7 is a possibility now. Ooh, this just is a piece. Okay, keeping those tactics alive. Yeah, white just loses a piece here. Simple knight fork. What was the idea with bishop e5 anyway? Okay. Black has the decency to resign there. Okay, let's look at it quick. Yeah, the Elephant Gambit. So the main line goes like this. I'll pull up the analysis board. The main line is e takes d5, and then the idea of the Elephant Gambit is to hit that knight. Knight doesn't really have anywhere good to go. I mean, these central squares, after queen takes d5, it's just going to have to move again. And it can't go here, obviously. So sometimes it goes back to g1, but the main move is queen here. And this is some of the main line stuff. And black does actually lose a pawn in these main lines. Oh, this is called the Paulson counter gambit. It's named after Paulson, my hometown hero. So many openings named after Paulson. I'm in Dubuque, Iowa, and this is where Louis Paulson started our chess club in the 1850s. So I'm a bit of a Paulson aficionado. Anyway, knight takes e5 is not terrible. I don't think it's the best way for white to approach this. So I give up the bishop pair, but I get white's castling privileges. And let's see what the computer thinks about this position. I actually had it last time I played the Elephant Gambit, I got the same position. The computer prefers black a little bit, despite these two bishops, which the computer usually prefers. c6. Black's got a bit of an initiative. Why is it like bishop b3? Just going to give up that pawn? Huh, that's a... Oh, because the bishop will skewer the knight. Or you can play f6. Bishop comes here and wins the pawn back. If you move the knight, the only way to defend the knight is f6, which this is... I mean, black does have an extra pawn, but that extra pawn doesn't count for much when they're doubled, isolated, and on an open file for white to attack. So, anyway, white defended, bishop f4. Now knight g7 is the preferred move. I went with this check, which kind of equalizes. Okay, this, knights before bishops idea is better. Planning on coming here, threatening to win the pawn now with this simple double attack on the bishop and the pawn. So I'll file that away for later. When I do play the Elephant Gambit, this seems to happen. So bishop check is not the best. Castling gives white equality. Knight d4. Doesn't like that move. But I was happy to get my knight to f6. Okay, bishop h5. Bishop e8. Where's the bishop going after that? Bishop to c6 ultimately in that line. I thought that does look like a bit of a better square for the bishop. Locks down that knight, sort of. Yeah, I mean, just pretty normal game up until this point. I was trying to get his bishop, I think, off of this file with the rook. I expected bishop to e3 or maybe bishop g3. I think e3 is better because it prevents this e3 push of my own. So I just didn't count on this tactic. Or sorry, white. So yeah, chess. The old adage, 99% tactics. I say that's true. And at least up to my level, the wins I have are due to tactics, sharper recognition of short-term phenomenon on the chessboard, not this long-term grand plan stuff, which does matter a lot at higher levels when you can count on guys to know their tactics. But if you don't know your tactics, if you don't notice knight forks, for instance, then the positional stuff isn't going to get you very far on its own. So yeah, chess is 99% tactics. I believe it. And study tactics, study puzzles, problems, common tactical patterns. Studying openings for tactics is really useful. Because when you study openings, you start to learn traps, especially these open games, these gambits and things like that. So anyway, this is a simple example of a game. I mean, it wasn't a super tactical position. Queens are off the board. It's almost an endgame, really. But there's always tactics. whole book on endgame tactics. Actually, I highly recommend it. Ger Van Perlo, Endgame Tactics. Anyway, I digress. Hope you've enjoyed the game, and it was a quickie, but an interesting foray into the Elephant Gambit. I'll try that again in the future, and maybe it won't simplify into these kind of positions. Take care, folks. Stay feisty.